Hi, I'm Dan Costa. She is Samara Lynn, and this is PCMag Live. We've got a great show for you today. We're going to break down the top tech news of the day. We're going to show you one cool thing from the lab, and we're going to get to some of your reader questions. Samara, let's get right to it. The big news today, Apple's earnings reports. They have had record sales of 51 million iPhones, and of course, their stock is down, because evidently this was not successful enough for one of the most successful consumer electronics companies in the world.
At least for investors.
And for investors who are hoping for more. But there is some sign that there are some weakness in Apple's portfolio. They don't have a 5-inch phone in the US. Their low-cost phones have not been doing well either in the US or overseas, and that's left them a little exposed.
Well, you know, I was having a pretty good discussion with someone about this. The last announcement saw very incremental changes to the iPad and iPhone. I mean, I don't think there was anything that really wowed a lot of people, and so many people have the devices now. I don't know how many new purchases are being made. I just think it's a sign that Apple's lost a little bit of its magic.
Well, we may be seeing some larger devices come up in the first quarter. There's a lot of rumors about 5-inch iPhones and really filling that hole that the Galaxy Note 3 has been taking in the US. But I still think they have to have a low-cost option internationally. The iPhone 5C is not really that phone. Like they kind of presented it as such, but it is not helping them compete in China, compete overseas, and it's not doing that well in the US either.
That's right, and they also, Tim Cook alluded to the fact that they're going to get into some other markets. Actually, I think he just stated it outright. We're looking for wearable tech from Apple, couple of other mobile payments. So I think they just need to branch out a little bit more too.
Another company, so Apple has got a few chinks in its armor. Another company that's got a few more problems is Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
Nintendo is down for the third straight year. The Wii U has not been a success for the company. They're sitting on a stockpile of cash, but they don't really know what to do with it. One of the things they might do with it is move more aggressively into the mobile space. They've had their own handheld for a number of years, but tapping into the smartphone space seems like a no-brainer. They've got great franchises and great brands.
Yeah, but see, he was pretty vague about what their exact plans are, and a lot of the tech blog zone just kind of took the ball, went away with it, and said, "Oh, we're going to have Nintendo on smartphones." It's not quite what he said.
A little wishful thinking, maybe, on Nintendo fans' part?
Yeah, I think it was more of a hint, like teasers and promos and these like little mini games and demos that we'll see on phones and tablets. But I don't know if we're going to see actual.
I think they've got great franchises. You know, you look at what Rovio's done, how big they've gotten in a short period of time.
Right.
Nintendo's got stronger brands. If they aggressively moved onto these platforms, they could be a software company again and leave the hardware part behind. That's worked for a lot of companies.
Well, they're not going to die anytime soon, so.
Not anytime soon, not with that pile of cash. And then finally, we've got Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince and now known as Prince again, suing his fans for using his songs. He's suing 22 internet users he believes are for sharing his bootlegs of his content of his concerts. He's demanding more than $1 million in damages. We've seen this with a lot of musicians. It hurts me more when it's Prince. It's like Prince, it seems like he should be in a different class. Metallica's one thing, but Prince?
Well, you know, Prince has a history of suing people. I think a couple of years ago he sued somebody on YouTube. His lawyer sent a cease and desist letter. So he's very aggressive about going after bootleggers. But he's absolutely right, Dan. I mean, he has every right to his content, just like, you know, we do with our stuff. But a smart musician these days, they're getting smarter with how they're distributing their content. And you see like Trent Reznor and Pearl Jam and all these bands in the past, they've encouraged their fans to bootleg their stuff. And I think Pearl Jam even had a bootleg their bootleggers. And they offered like this great collection of their bootlegged content. So you got to be a little bit flexible.
Yeah, album sales have been declining.
Yeah.
That's not really where musicians make their money. The bootleg can actually help sell concert tickets and although I don't think Prince has any trouble selling concert tickets.
No, he doesn't, but it endears you to the fans too.
Yeah. Well,
gives you longevity.
Being sued by the musician that you love is not endearing. We'll see how that works out for him. Let's move on to a reader question. We got a reader question in from Brandon. He wants to know, and it's a great question for you, being our network and business analyst. Do you know of any Wi-Fi routers that offer different levels of internet filtering that could be assigned to each device? He wants to be able to restrict his kids from accessing adult sites and other non-kid appropriate sites, but he wants to leave his system, presumably, still able to access that content.
Sure, and a lot of people do want to do that. They want open internet for themselves, and they want to, lock it down for the kiddies. And most routers do offer parental controls. they're largely using cloud services. So they're partnering with Norton or Netgear. We just looked at a router called SkyDog. It's a Kickstarter product. It's really got one of the best parental controls I've seen in a router, because you can not only restrict access by device, but you can create usernames. So you can have multiple kids on one computer, and you can have set different level of access, which you really can't a lot of times when it's just by device. Now, Brandon also followed up with me and said he really didn't want to use a cloud service. He didn't want his settings going through a third party. The Linksys EA6900 is a router I just reviewed, and it does offer local parental controls, but you're not getting that same level of granular control like you do with a lot of these cloud services.
It doesn't go into like the MAC address and say
That's
this
right.
particular device.
That's right.
That's how it identifies it.
That's right. It's a little bit more. It's like I said. It's not as. It doesn't give you as much control. What you might want to do, though, Brandon, is look into a standalone parental control software. Neil Rubenking, our lead security analyst, has great roundups of them, and you just might want to go ahead and deploy that software on your network.
Yeah, I would. So. I would remember to consider not just locking down the systems, but also the iPhones.
That's right.
Also the iPads.
That's right.
Because you don't need and that can be a little harder to monitor.
And that's what we liked about SkyDog. Any device on your network you could lock down.
Yeah, that's fantastic. There you go, great recommendation. Now it's time for one cool thing. Every year we test thousands of products here in our lab in New York City. Every day we take one thing off the shelf and show it to you live on air. Today, that thing is the Leef Bridge. Mm-hmm. It is a 16 gigabyte USB key, but it is unusual because it has a micro USB port, which means it's basically built to be external storage for your smartphone. It doesn't work with Apple devices because obviously micro USB, but you plug it right into your phone and you instantly get an extra 16 gigabytes of storage. It's got a USB port as well, so you can use it with your PC.
That's right.
But a great way to move large files on and off your phone, back up your phone, and just a really neat device. We cover a lot of expensive devices here. For $16, for $20, this is a great value. 16 gigs for $20.
And that's USB 2.0, but Brian Westover, the analyst who actually reviewed that, says there is a 3.0 device coming out shortly, and he will be reviewing that.
Also, it's a great way to get photos off your phone.
Oh, sure.
Because everybody's got all these photos on their phone. You can set up cloud-based storages to store all those, but it takes, you're using your data connection, you're using Wi-Fi. That can take some time.
Oh, yeah.
This is the fastest way to get gigabytes of data on and off of your phone.
I mean, even local wireless can be really slow when it comes to large images and videos, so that's a really handy little gadget.
Yep, very cool. Check out the full review on PCMag.com. It is the Leef Bridge, again, and we gave it a very good review. That's PCMag Live for today. Make sure you leave us your comments in the comments section. Talk to us on Facebook, talk to us on Instagram, talk to us on Google+. There are still some people talking to us.
Talk to us.
Talk to us and we'll talk to you on air. Tune in tomorrow for a new show.
Bye-bye.